I'll have a breakdown.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the 10th floor. It's me, Matt.
Hi, everybody. It's Kat.
And Scarlett and Ellie.
And the elevator is packed. It's not just us, we got a full chat already. Chandra, Blink FM, Melissa, Sandra. Oh, goodness. Who else is here? Who else? I guess that's it. Vita. I think Vita was here earlier. Kaiwan, of course, here with us every single week.
Steven's over there playing his video games.
Yeah, playing video games.
Steven can be on camera if he wants to, but if he doesn't want to, that's fine.
It's totally all right, I mean, there's a whole video game world to explore, especially Grandma and Grandpa's house. It's different there.
Well, he brought a Switch because, he can't be on the same level on this, because I think what are you, Steven, on Fortnite? You're like on level 150 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, 100 level. I don't even know how many levels there are in that game. Well, congratulations. Hard work has been paying off in the virtual world of Fortnite, fighting off other players as hard as you can. What about y'all? What are you doing for Valentine's Day? We got everything set up special here on the 10th floor for Valentine's Day with a new background.
Remember, it was a kitty.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. You're going to have a party at school, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
And guess what? So it's my friend Ike's, well, kind of my friend. If my friend, kind of my friend.
Kind of your friend, kind of your boyfriend?
No, I don't even like him. He's annoying. He's annoying. So this boy in my class named Ike, it's his birthday on Valentine's Day. We get to do tons of fun stuff on Valentine's Day, and we're going on a field trip on Valentine's Day.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, to an art museum.
Ooh,
wow.
That's awesome.
What about you? Anything happening in kindergarten?
Now, what's happening for you on Valentine's Day? Do you know? You guys gonna have a class party? Are you shy now? Suddenly you're shy.
Just staring at all that chocolate around her lips is what she's doing.
That's not chocolate, that's chap.
Ooh, I see.
It's okay. It's okay, but that's what it is. Winter time,
I know. I suffered from it for a very long time. I didn't get over it until I was like 35.
That's why we want you to put medicine on it, is because people notice it, love.
Hey, Liz. Hey, Jeannie. Yeah, Jeannie understands, because Jeannie in the chat, she says boy cooties. So she understands. You don't like him.
Yeah, boy cooties, right? Well, I don't know. I mean, this one might think there's a lot of boy cooties, but I don't think this one thinks there's that many boy cooties.
I don't like any boys, so I just have friends.
I understand.
Of course. I got friends that are boys too. Lots of them. So, you guys. So, ladies, say hi, everybody.
Hi,
They hear a lot about you guys, actually. Sometimes they do. So, say goodbye, because Grandma's going to do the 10th floor now, okay?
Bye. It was good to see you.
I yelled into the microphone.
Don't yell too much, because it doesn't broadcast.
Yeah, it doesn't. Okay, yeah. Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya. Go watch a movie, go play something. If you need something, call your grandpa. Don't bug me.
They're just going to provide background entertainment now is what's going on.
Okay, nope. Girls, remember I told you, go play something, go watch a movie. Can't do that the whole time. Goodbye. See ya.
Oh, goodness gracious.
See ya, chickies.
Oh, goodness. Well, Sabrina's joined us in the meantime. So is Melinda. I see Liz hanging out as well. Everybody saying goodbye to the babies. Oh, goodness.
Interruption.
Well, we're back. Full focused here on the 10th floor. Ascending all the way up in the elevator. Chandra, of course, brought snacks. She brought party wings and Super Bowl delights is what she did. So we're going to sneak the 10th floor here, just in here before the Super Bowl, before the Chiefs and the 49ers fight each other to the death on the gridiron.
So when does it start on the East Coast? Over here it starts at 3. It'll be 6 for you guys.
Yeah, so I looked it up to make sure we weren't stepping on it.
But when does it come on the East Coast, man?
It's 6:30.
Oh, it's on at night over there.
Yeah, and so I guess it's 3:30 for us over here on the West Coast, which is the benefit of being on the West Coast, is because we get stuff at 5, while everybody else gets it at 8.
That's true.
You know, that's always been the case too. Like with wrestling pay-per-views and such, we got to watch it at 5 because of the West Coast. So
Watch it twice too. Remember?
yeah, we'd be able to watch it back to back. I mean, when we were little kids, we would just watch it back to back because we were nerds that couldn't stop. When I got a little older, I just watched it once with my friends and then kicked them all out.
Mhm. We used to have those. We used to have those pay-per-view parties out in the garage.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes,
Didn't
good
we?
times. Oh yeah, a whole gang of people showing up every single month for that. Sandra says as a former first grade teacher, she understands those poor chapped lips. Yeah.
And I tried to get her to put some medicine on, and she's like, no.
She's always been a little resistant one.
It's okay.
Kelly says that she's only watching the Super Bowl because of Usher. But you know what? There's no Canadian teams facing each other in the NFL. So really, what sort of investment would Kelly even have in the game?
Oh, Usher. Usher, okay.
Yeah, he's going to sing and dance. He's going to be like, ooh, I'm Usher. Whoa,
Well, Usher
ooh, ooh,
dance.
ooh.
Usher dances really well.
Yeah,
He's
I don't
quite good.
even know what songs he sings. I don't know what his current ones are, at least.
But don't.
It'll be a medley of his greatest hits. You know, like when they have
It's
Aerosmith on
getting
there.
hot in here. And take off all your
Oh,
clothes.
that's not. No, we already we already got in too much trouble at the Super Bowl for that sort of song before.
That's Usher.
I understand, but in like 2004, you know, we made each other naked by the end of a song, and it just it set back TV 50 years.
Now, you guys, and within the next 5 years or less, probably less, Taylor Swift is going to be halftime entertainment.
Absolutely,
She's a mega
I'm honestly surprised she's not halftime entertainment now, but I guess her boyfriend plays for the Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing in the world. I feel bad for that guy to a degree, honestly.
I do too, to a certain degree. I honestly kind of feel bad for her too. So is she going to her boyfriend's football game? Okay, don't all those fellas maybe have some kind of love interest that's showing up to those football games?
Right? Like, where's the First Wives Club row, you know?
And so, it's not Taylor Swift is not expected to get a certain amount of camera shots showing her. That's it's not her fault, nor is it her boyfriend's fault.
I mean, media, I don't want to say we because I don't care, but media has been overly obsessed with Taylor Swift's romantic life her entire career, like overly obsessed with it.
Yeah, but she does write songs about her exes.
I mean,
But
the only reason we know that is because we know that. Like, if we didn't know that,
I'm just,
it'd just be songs, right?
I know there's a little bit of anti-Taylor Swift out there because of the football thing. I got nothing to do with it.
It's just dudes being weird about their stuff.
Yes. But I tell you what, so there's a game going around. I tell you, I think today's game, you could possibly get alcohol poisoning if you play this particular game, which is have a shot every time they show Taylor.
Well, they're going to show her between every play.
I know, so
especially since she knows she knows what she's doing too. She's leading the crowd in dances and all sorts of different stuff during these games. She's being a part of it.
Sure. So I'm just saying, don't participate in those games because you could fall down drunk real fast.
Don't do it. Don't do it, folks. Limited, maybe drink every time there's an interception instead of every time they show Taylor Swift.
There you go.
Something.
There you go. That's better.
So definitely don't do it every time they say her name. That would be
Oh
bad.
my gosh. Yeah, there's 2 games actually. There's one every time they show her face and mention her name. And then there's just her name or just her face. There's all kinds of variations of the game.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're going to have a little parade.
Yeah, we're going to have a little parade back and forth.
It's
I love
okay.
it. I love it. It's so fun. It's Super Bowl Sunday, everybody. The house is full. We're getting ready. Mom's already pounding down some beers, you know?
Oh, heck no.
Just knocking them back.
I got here some Dr. Thunder, which is Walmart's answer to a Dr. Pepper for half the cost.
So we have this super diet soda. It's not, it's not Diet Coke, it's not Dr. Thunder, it's not Diet Dr. Thunder, it's not even off-brand soda. It is prebiotic soda. So it's carbonated, it's got a little gut health spritz in there, and the flavor is pretty light. So the person I share a space with is like, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever drank in my entire life. But I drink one, and it is a Diet Dr. Thunder. They call it a
Really?
Doc Pop. But it tastes to me just like a diet off-brand soda. But apparently that's so distant from what other sodas people have drank in their life that it's just like the most disgusting thing. So thanks for always getting me discount soda, Ma.
Well,
It's prepared
it
me for the
is.
prebiotic stuff.
It's-
Oh, goodness. Chandra says, if you're watching and would like to join us live, log into YouTube. So I'm going to say that too, in case you're not looking at the chat and you're just watching us. If you're randomly in here, you're not logged into YouTube, but you want to, follow along with the show, log in. If you already have a Gmail email account, all you got to do is sign in. Boom, you already have an account and you don't even know it. So just sign in, you can subscribe to the channel, and then every time we're on talking about whatever nonsense comes up in our lives, you can come watch along. We can promise that we're going to talk about GH, but also spend 15 minutes talking to little girls and also the Super Bowl. So, you never know what you're going to get here on the elevator right up to the 10th floor before we get off of the elevator and take a look to the left and to the right. And you can see, business as usual in the hospital. But where the real action is at the Metro Court and the Savoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit at Carly's house.
Yeah.
But mostly for me, where the week was for me, a little bit at the graveyard too. But here's the thing. Let's just get it out of the way. We had a Spencer memorial. People were sad. Nicholas Chavez is on break. He's not done with the show. We're not going to spend a bunch of time on General Hospital itself. Doing a week-long funeral where every single character gets a perspective and their favorite memories and is all lined up to give Trina a hug and a kiss on the forehead and stuff, because he's going to be back, and by the time I'm done with this cup of coffee, Spencer will be back. So
I had read that they were supposed to film that in like some kind of quick speed. And when I read it, I was like, I don't believe it. I don't think that they're going to have this series done filming in 6 or 8 weeks. Doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, for me, I've seen a lot of conflicting schedule out there. I've seen they started filming in December 1st, which means that Chavez hasn't been filming in 3 months, which is way far ahead of where we are. And so that doesn't line up with the reality of what the broadcast is, because he would have been off the show 6 to 8 weeks ago at the most, not December 1st. So I've seen all kinds of conflicting schedules when it comes to this. So I have no idea how long it's going to take, when he'll be back, when his contract expires, because I've heard 2 different dates for that as well.
Yeah.
I just don't know. What it comes down to, truthfully and really, for me, if I was running this show, and I'm not running the show. I don't have the experience of it. I don't know what the network wants. I don't know what the focus groups say or anything like that. But if Chavez was coming back and he only had 2 months left on his contract, thanks, buddy. I think we're just going to go ahead and recast now.
It makes sense to me. We talked about this last week too. It makes sense to me. Why would they? It doesn't. If he's going to come back for such a short amount of time, unless he's going to come back in some kind of I don't know, super way.
Right?
Yeah, and I don't
know.
know where the audience would really love to see his, just for it to be Nicholas Chavez, because it's such a big entry. I don't know, but
I don't know either.
If it's, it makes sense actually. If he's only going to come back for a hot minute. Go ahead and just invest the time on looking for somebody new.
Yeah, I mean, if it's only going to be a short period of time, unless, like I said, I don't know what the focus groups say, and I don't know what the network says, and I don't know what other determining factors would be at play in this. But without knowing those things, if there's only a little bit of time left, I would just invest, like I said, in another actor so we can move long term without some sort of awkward swap. Early on, like we just experienced that with Days when they swapped the Teresa.
Yeah,
like it's working out now, but it was weird for a minute, So
It was weird for a minute.
so
The only benefit of how they did Teresa on Days of Our Lives is they were able to have both of those characters on at the same time.
yes.
You know.
Yeah. They did it both ways because they had the original Teresa and Gwen was on. They did the swap. Literally, she walked off as Gwen and then walked back on in the same scene as Teresa. And this is Days of Our Lives on GH, of course.
Yep.
And then several weeks later, they had Emily O'Brien as Teresa doing her thing with Alex. And then also they had, I think, Chad Demira call Gwen. And
Yes.
so they had scenes of her as Gwen in Europe or something talking on the phone. And so they've been playing with it a little bit like Roseanne with the two Beckys.
Yes. Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So when I don't know, like when I guess when she switches back to Gwen, they'll pull some sort of like, where have you been?
Probably.
Long time no see. It's like you never left, something.
Yeah, some kind of thing. Yeah.
But that's totally
So-
Days. GH doesn't really do that. I think the closest thing that I've seen GH do is when Roger Howarth took on Austin. He came to the hospital for some reason. I don't know if he got beaten up or something, but they take him to the hospital. It was the first time that Elizabeth, the character, had been in the same scene with Roger Howarth as Austin. And they kind of held on her, like, look for a moment or something. Is just kind of a way to really sell that Elizabeth does not know who this man is.
Yes.
And I think that's the closest thing that I can point to for them,
yeah.
like, really hanging a lantern on the fact it's the same person. So, yeah. Sandy wishes that Trina would believe that Spencer is not dead. Here's my argument against
She kind of explained that, though. She said the first time when they thought he was dead on the island, she did have a sense of he's not, he's not perished. And she doesn't feel that. I guess she doesn't have that same pull anymore that feel like he hasn't perished.
Maybe not. Maybe she doesn't feel it this way.
But, So Matt, back to Spencer's memorial.
Yeah.
I liked the voiceover of Aunt Alexis.
Yeah. It was,
I liked it.
Was it the obituary that she had wound up writing? Is that what it, or is that a whole different?
I don't really know if that was the obituary that she was reading while but they had that voiceover.
Yeah, I mean, it was really nice.
Kind of going on. I liked it.
And when it comes down to, I mean, I can understand, people who are really into the Sprina relationship wanting Trina to handle that. But if you were to take a look at Spencer's life as a whole, rather than just what he had done post school,
right?
Alexis plays a rather big part of that, I think. Mostly in the fact that she's kind of the only Cassadine there.
And she's, besides his own grandmother, she's the only person that's known him since birth.
Right.
Other than his deadbeat dad that's running around with his brother.
Right.
Giving his brother away to his mom.
While we're on that, and just very quickly, I saw some questions about, well, how come Heather was able to get released for Esme's grave visit, but Nicholas wasn't able to come to Spencer's funeral? And my answer to that is Nicholas just turned himself in. They're not going to be like, okay, great, you've been here for about 48 hours, but I understand there's a funeral you have to get to. We're going to let
and Heather is a master manipulation. She talked her way out into that.
Yeah.
She's a master manipulation.
Even if she's like,
oh my gosh, those scenes were fabulous. Now let me go back a little bit. Let me address, because it was so much on Twitter.
Yeah.
Please. The whole that there's a dig in the grave. Okay, there's a dug.
Yeah. Even Chandra was questioning that.
There was a fresh patch. Okay. Yeah, it's a little weird. Sure, it's a little weird. But I think it was done that way for drama. And I think that you could easily, I think a family, especially, someone that's got some money, sure, why not dig a grave? Why not put a casket in there already? You can put his favorite things in the casket. And then if they do happen to find his piranha eaten butt, they have a place to stick him.
We found his very wet bones, everybody.
That's what I decided. Easy peasy.
Where was Taggart? Taggart's not on the show, you guys.
I don't like the whole Taggart thing.
He's not on the show. That is your answer.
He's not on the show. And the fact that they The last thing we saw him do was spike his coffee. I don't dig it. I don't see that as a way for Taggart to go.
We will see
Not
what the
awkward.
future holds.
Exactly.
You know,
Maybe he's not done.
You know, I mean,
Maybe
just
he's
because
not.
that's the last thing we saw doesn't mean that's the state he's in.
Exactly.
The state he's in is the state that we're going to see him in the next time he shows up, when and if that ever is. And we also have to accept the reality of the potentiality of the fact that maybe we might never see him again.
It's a possibility.
When it comes down to it, he's not the characters that they've been focused on for the last few years. They would be inserting him into the canvas to give him perspective and to flesh out Trina's relationships with people, which is cool to a degree. But also at the same time, Taggart is kind of an island. He doesn't come attached with much other than his sister.
Yeah, and she hasn't been on the show in decades.
You know, and so really, like, when it comes to like story that is told with the current focus of the people that they are focused on, Taggart is just an unnecessary puzzle piece, it seems, you know?
Right now he is. But you know what I miss about Taggart is how funny he was. I wanted them to make him chief of police when they brought it up to him a year ago. I wanted that because he's funny and he brings fun energy.
And we also do not know at all anything that happened backstage. And I'm not saying there was a huge blowout fight in which everybody hates each other, but maybe they offered a contract that didn't work out for him.
Maybe
we don't
maybe
know.
He's got some other, hopefully what happened is he got some other irons in the fire that are,
you know, maybe
beneficial to him.
Maybe he doesn't like the story that they had planned. I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it. I don't know.
I bet you he wants to work.
Well, I'm sure he does, but also at the same time, like, there could be all kinds of factors that we have no idea that's preventing or had prevented them from doing Taggart. Also, at the same time, they had a second actor playing Taggart constantly. Back and forth, they were trading between Meryl Andrews and Ashanti something.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. But yes, I do remember having a substitute for Taggart on a regular
basis. And so even in the, the temporary time, the very guest starring Taggart time, is what we had. You know, he wasn't, I wouldn't call him recurring. He definitely wasn't on contract. He would have been guest starring for the Emmys, which he could have submitted himself for with that elevator scene. But anyway,
my gosh, he sure could have. But
even in that time, he wasn't able to consistently be there for the story that they were trying to tell. And again, I don't know what was going on. I'm not talking trash. I'm just saying he wasn't available.
Right.
For whatever reason.
Right. For whatever reason.
You know, that could be a contributing factor as well when it comes down to it. I don't know. Don't come here for the news, is what we say.
It was what we said. But wasn't Heather fabulous at that?
Heather was absolutely beyond fabulous. She was Performer of the Week on soapoperanews.net, so check that out. Because, yeah, she came in and she stole the episode. She stole it right away from Spencer and held it firmly in her grasp. And I adore her moment with Elizabeth.
Oh, I thought it was good too. And it was surprising. I found it to be surprising that was Heather's response, because I thought Heather, she mad at everybody all the time. So I didn't think she was going to let Elizabeth off the hook. But even though, they have showed us Heather completely heartbroken, a lot of heartbreak with Heather, but they have shown us more sanity in Heather than we've seen in a long time. She's usually cuckoo. Well, she's made some sense lately.
I mean, maybe she's gone so crazy that it's starting to make sense again. Like movies like Airplane, where they're so dumb that they become good.
Yeah.
Heather's just so nuts that she's, found some philosophy.
Maybe. So, yeah.
Also, though, at the same time, classic thing that they do on General Hospital all the time: new actor, new face, new opportunities to explore other aspects of the character that they hadn't before.
Now, this is what I said, you guys, when I was watching. I said to my mother-in-law, Grandma Lou.
Yeah.
So, they show that you're at the cemetery. And you got Spencer, and he's got a headstone, and you got poor little Esme, and she don't have nothing but a little sign on a stick.
Yes.
And I said to Grandma Lou, "You cheap ass Uncle Kevin, you give that girl a marker."
He doesn't have as much money as the Cassadines do.
Yeah, cheap ass. That's what I said.
What happened was the
you know what?
Cassadine.
But later on, as they showed, as the scenes went on, and Heather grabbed that little piece of crud
Mm-hmm.
marker and kissed it, and it made sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why she doesn't have a marker. But Uncle Kevin, don't be a cheap ass.
Maybe they're still making it, or he put in
Well,
the.
actually, they addressed that later on in the episode because Elizabeth said something, and he said, "Yes, it's on order."
Ah, see, there you go. See, there you
So
go.
I
Well,
said, "Oh, okay,
they didn't have the budget to make 2 headstones for the episode.
probably that's probably true."
And so they're going to focus on the Spencer one. And so, hey, that's something that everybody should celebrate. You know, Spencer fans out there who might have found fault in the memorial this week. They spent the money on his headstone rather than Esme's. That's a victory. That's a win. He got one up on Esme after all, you guys.
But you know, but at the same, that's what I thought about Uncle Kevin. But it did really show us Spencer's important and she's not.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, remember when Nell didn't have one at all?
Yeah, I do.
You know? And Nina's like, well, we can't have that. She was still a person.
Right?
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
No,
Melissa said... Yeah.
I didn't think it was too bad. I kind of liked it.
Yeah. Sandy says that Rael had cancer back then, and that's true. You know, that was something that was in the way, and still could have been a factor into why they had to put Taggart to rest on a story, and they really haven't had the initiative or the dollars to reignite it.
I hope that's not the case.
You know, I don't know. Let's see. What's the chat been saying? I know someone whose husband was lost at sea, so they buried an empty casket, says Kelly, for family and friends to have a place to grieve and remember. So I knew that it wasn't unheard of, even if very uncommon.
I knew it was unusual.
Yeah.
However, not ever done.
Right. Because I'm like, I swear I've heard of this. And then even James Lott Jr. was like, I've never heard of this before in my life. And I'm like, what sort of TV shows was I watching that JLJ, of all people, wasn't watching that showed me empty caskets being buried? I figured his television repertoire is twice as grand as mine is.
You know, and like, you know, a lot of folks like to put stuff in there.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my uncles passed away, and his kids put so much stuff in there with him. There's hardly room for him. Seriously.
They also used it as an opportunity to just kind of clear some space in the house.
She put like a whole carton of cigarettes in there. She put like,
I don't think you need those in the afterlife. Can you imagine walking up to the pearly gates and then St. Peter's like, come on, put the carton down. That's why you're here.
Exactly. I thought it was a little odd, but it did happen. Anyway.
Oh gosh, that's super funny. That is super funny. Oh goodness. Sabrina says, well, then bring in the replacement that they've always done when it comes to Taggart. And I think that that's evidence that they really aren't interested in exploring the character of Taggart, because they did have a second whole actor that the audience had already accepted as Taggart that they could have slid in and didn't.
But you guys, isn't there, because of the writer's strike and then now the head writer change and all that stuff. I mean, yeah, Rael Andrews, our Taggart, is missing off screen. What happened to Miss Wu? Like, they're going to kick her out of the Savoy and she's going to say, okay, I'll take my party elsewhere. No.
I mean, so here's the reality. Here's an unfortunate reality of what happened during the writer's strike. Is that a lot of characters of color vanished.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to say, well, it's nefarious and it's a racist show or anything like that. I really don't know what the contributing factor was. When it comes to like pointing to like status of the characters, a lot of characters of color were not contracted players.
Right.
Like Miss Wu isn't, and Taggart isn't, and Zeke isn't, and the Detective Bennett isn't, and they're all not extras, but they're recurring or guest characters.
Yes.
And I feel as though that during the time of the writer's strike, there was a lot less guest starring happening.
I think there was just a lot less writing being done.
And it was just kind of very focused on just mostly the contracted players. We didn't have we had some Valentine, but not a mess ton. We've had some Ned, he had the whole Eddie Main thing, but then after that, we've seen next to nothing of him. And that started before the strike. So that could have been just momentum carrying on. So I mean, it's not a great excuse, but I think that might be more of a contributing factor than we might have been aware of at the time. Because now Detective Bennett is back and, such. Stephen A. Smith is all over it, but I think that's also because it's Super Bowl week.
I think so too. Stephen A. Smith, I wonder, of course, I say lots of rumblings everywhere. I don't, I would be very surprised if they gave, like some people are thinking that Stephen A. Smith Brick is really after Sonny.
Nah.
Would it be delicious? Kinda.
Yeah.
Kinda would be that it was, him all along, him working with Jason all along. Who knows? It would be kind of fun.
It would be.
But I just don't see Stephen A. Smith committing that kind of time to GH. He's like the busiest dude out there.
He's super busy.
Know he is super busy. And I know football season, as of today, it's going to be over. But he's a sports dude.
Yeah, he's all over sports. It's not just football.
He's all over sports.
It's not just football.
He's
super busy.
He's super busy. So I don't see him being there at Prospect.
No. I don't think he's going to contribute to any sort of long-term story. I think we're going to see him as much as we usually do, which is just a few days at a time. I think we're getting it right now because of the Super Bowl. I think we're getting as much of him as we're getting because of Super Bowl. Him spying on decks and the drink with Jordan and all that kind of stuff. Like, there's this like, hey, would you Google Stephen A. Smith? We want GH to come up.
I don't even know. I mean, of course I know it's on today and I know what time it's on, but I don't even, that would make sense to me, Matt, if the Super Bowl was on ABC.
It's not. It's on CBS.
Is it?
It's on CBS. But then again, that's still try to pull some of the search traffic or any number of different things. And also at the same time, Stephen A. Smith might at some point be like, hey, I've been having fun on GH leading up to this. Who knows? Yeah. I don't know. And plus, this was 5-6 weeks ago when he was on set.
When we see him again with Jordan, okay, I need him to downplay how suave he is a little bit.
I was really enjoying it.
Just become a little more of a him.
So I like it.
He doesn't look too suave.
Here's why. Because of what we just said. Since Stephen A. Smith is not going to be committing to any sort of long-term story on GH, there would be no point in having any sort of actual, real, long-term romance between Brick and Jordan. Now, if they use this as an opportunity to bond those characters together for later story, not love story between the two of them, but now Jordan has an into the mob organization life. And that could be opportunity for story down the line.
Yes.
I'm fine with the whole suave thing. I'm fine with them having drinks. I'm fine with them being flirty because all of that stuff doesn't necessarily have to lead to hardcore love and romance and marriage.
Right.
It doesn't even have to lead to bed. It could have just been a good time.
I'm just saying if it were me, if I were Jordan, and he come at me a couple more times like that, just being so smooth, I have to give him his walking papers.
Well,
because at some point I will meet the real person.
Maybe it's just for the time being. Who knows what the future holds? Maybe he will sign a contract and he's retiring from ESPN.
And I'm not saying anything about him, but I'm just saying for me, a couple more times like that, and I'm sorry. All right, Creepster, get to moving. He's after some point be himself.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I get it. I'm not denying you. I think you're totally right there to a degree. Whatever. I think it's fine to play. It was a fun scene for me. I saw it's so weird because Twitter is just such a negative place that just doesn't like anything. And I watch this stuff, even like I see all of this negative reaction before I actually even have a chance to watch the show because of the West Coast Hulu thing. So I don't get to watch it until 6 o'clock, which means everybody on the East Coast and the rest of the world has had hours upon hours to complain.
I can see it at 5 at my house, but that doesn't help you anyway because you're not home by then anyway.
Right, So So that's the case there. And so it's just such a negative place that I hear all of these things that people don't like first, and then I watch it and I'm like, this is nowhere near
Mhm.
as bad as you guys have
Yeah,
seen it. This is nowhere near as horrible as you've interpreted it to be. It's so weird.
but
It's
we
so
have
weird.
to just remember that we're seeing this much opinion of the masses.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just a really loud minority of people who are complaining, but it's still a loud minority of people who are complaining, and it's very visible on the social
Mhm.
media channel that I'm on the most. It's just so interesting to me sometimes because I ended this week feeling like the biggest General Hospital fan that exists because I really enjoyed every week. Even Thursday was a day that people were like, it's the weakest of the week.
Mhm.
Thursday, which I still found strength in how much I'm annoyed by Anna.
You're annoyed by
I
Anna?
am annoyed by Anna. Let me tell you, I've been annoyed by Anna for quite
Why?
some time now, and I just haven't been talking about it.
Why are you so annoyed by Anna?
I've been annoyed by her ever since she shot Charlotte.
Ooh.
So I've been, and then, well, it's because she's constantly taking matters into her own hands, and I wish, like, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get this is the Anna character. I'm not saying that
Uh-huh.
she's bad. She should be off the show. She's turned her back on the character. That Chandra, thank you
Mhm.
so much for your donation. She's just so kind and generous every single week here in the super chats. Don't let her do it alone, you all. If you've got $2.99 or more, just chip it in if you can and if you want to. You don't have to.
Nope, never have to.
So Anyway, no accountability, Anna says to Melissa. Exactly. So she just, I get this is the Anna character. I get that she's a bit of a rogue and she's always been, the one that's always chased down the bad guy until she caught them, no matter what. I get that. I get that. But John Jagger Cates is right. Y'all ain't law enforcement. Stop.
Mhm.
And then on top of that, she's like, oh, I'll think about the commissionership. Oh, I'm going to take the commissionership now. Anna, this is running the cops, okay? It carries more responsibility than figuring out who shot Curtis. You're taking
Well,
a whole job so you can be involved in this investigation. What about the rest of your commissioner responsibilities?
Well, she sucks at it. She'll just be in line with everybody else, so it doesn't matter that much.
Jordan was a great commissioner. They just can't solve nothing.
No.
And so I'm just annoyed by it. I'm just
Yeah.
annoyed.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's her. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
it's compelling soap. I don't have to agree with her choices to still enjoy it.
Oh, she's probably going to be kissing on John Cates real fast.
You think that's where that's going?
Oh, somebody's going to kiss on him real fast.
I don't know. Can you get?
Somebody is.
He's missing an upper lip. Is there much to kiss?
I don't know.
I think that they should have given him a haircut, and here's why. It just doesn't fit his age. I don't think.
I agree.
I
agree.
His face is set in a different decade than his hair is.
Do you feel the same way about Finn?
No, Finn's hair works probably because though, like I've seen him with this haircut for
Ever.
like even as Caleb.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who he plays.
He's had the same hair the entire time I've known the face of Michael Easton.
He is.
So it's
really
easier to
good
accept
hair?
this other.
Really thick, good hair though.
Yeah, which John Jagger doesn't have. It's gonna be so weird because they're really selling the John thing. Don't call me Jagger, I'm John. And part of that is because he's not Antonio Sabato Jr.
Yes.
And part of that is, well, it's all because he's not Antonio Sabato Jr. So they just want him to be John rather than Jagger.
Well, that's smart, actually.
I'm with it, but also at the same time,
smart.
He's been Jagger in everybody's hearts and minds for 30 years that it's going to be difficult to not refer to that character as Jagger.
Oh, I think lots of people will, and I think he'll be called Jagger every once in a while on the show forever.
I even mean just
think
like on
he'll
the
be
fan base in the
accepted.
podcast,
But I think he'll be accepted as John on the show, though. I think the characters will accept him as John.
Oh, absolutely, and they already have. He's only had to correct every other character but Sonny just one time, and then they call him John.
And then there's a whole, since he was on such a long time ago, there are a lot of characters on General Hospital that never met him as Jagger.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And when it comes
Like,
down,
for instance, Caroline been on forever, and she
Right.
hasn't met Jagger.
Right. I don't think we talked about it much last week, but it's not Antonio Sabato Jr.
Mm-hmm.
It's not ever going to be Antonio Sabato Jr. again,
Mm-hmm.
because he's one of those MAGA hats that people don't like anymore.
Oh, well, I think I'm gonna have to look up some pictures of that actor that's playing John Cates and
Mhm.
decide if I like his hair. I'm sure there's photos of him.
I'm sure he.
with
I
hair.
mean, he's a prolific actor who's been in a mess ton of things. I'm sure he's
Yes, he
had every
has.
hairstyle under the sun.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
I even think that it's too light for his complexion. I feel like they could have dyed it darker,
I kind of agree with you.
unless
I
he's
think
just too
his
gray.
hair, I don't think his hair should be, like in a tight fade or anything, but
No.
I think it should be a little bit shorter,
Hmm.
and making it a medium brown would have worked easily.
Yeah, yeah. So that's just our armchair analysis of
There you
the
go.
look of John Cates.
If I were in the makeup and hair room, that's what I do.
Yeah. But then also at the same time, maybe he's in the situation where you are, where it's I'm gonna dye it lighter so I can go longer between dye jobs.
I tell you what, and I would say even though they lead just a little tinge, Maurice Bernard's getting his hair done constantly.
Constantly, all the time. They're just
Constantly,
putting
he
that shoe
has to.
polish in it all the time.
They are putting that dust stuff in it, the
Yeah.
cover up stuff in it, and he's got tint on his head constantly.
Constantly,
Has to.
it's like the opposite
Has
of
to.
like the nature boy Ric Flair, who used to bleach his hair all the time, which
Uh-huh.
would just strip everything off of your hair. I'm surprised he still has any left. But I guess painting on that black shoe polish on black hair is less damaging in the long run. I don't know.
Well, and he keeps it so close. He gets his hair cut so much. It's not like he's gonna have damage in it.
Mm-hmm. Ms. Bumblebee. Hi, Miss Bumblebee. What did you say originally? I
So
can't
what
find
did
it. Oh, there you are.
So I'm gonna have to say this because I find it to be true.
Mm,
Portia,
yeah.
what is wrong with you? Leave that girl alone. Just the things that she's saying today is not necessarily what she's going to say in 2 months from now, 8 months from now, and weeks from now.
Right.
That girl is grieving, and she's going to say things that she doesn't mean right now because she's grieving. That doesn't mean she's never going to go to college again. Calm down,
No.
Portia. Calm down, Portia. Listen to your
Portia's just a
husband little bit.
panicker. That's what she's turning out to be. She's turning out to be a panicking character, like
She
things get
is.
so intense and she starts to
Exactly. Exactly. I was glad that Portia came around to accepting Spencer pretty much.
a degree,
I
yeah.
was good that pretty. I'm glad that
I didn't like this relationship. I wanted him to be out of her life, but not like this. Oh God, not like this.
But she had come around for the most part, and she and Trina had talked about it, and she had come around for the most part. Yeah, but did she think that he was the dream son-in-law? Of course
Nah.
not. But she was accepting it and accepting their love for one another.
Yeah.
She was accepting their relationship as being real. So
Mhm.
good for you, Portia, on that. However, leave that girl alone. She's just sitting
Let
there
her
on the couch
grieve.
grieving. And if you keep on popping off at her
Sure,
like
she'll.
that, she ain't gonna share with you no more. Don't be stupid.
Yeah. Pushing your boundaries there, Portia. Goodness. Goodness gracious. She'll be all right. I don't know. They'll be okay in the long run. Maybe they'll just have some sort of big blowout fight one day and just be able to put it all behind them.
So I don't know.
I don't know.
I guess just the character of Portia, she gets on my nerves every once in a while, and she does react that way usually.
Mhm.
She came on too strong with Curtis too, especially when he first went to the therapy and
Yeah.
whatnot. Was so just up in his grill all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's a bit of a pusher, somebody that tries to
Yes.
press herself in because she cares so much. She wants to be involved. She wants the
Mhm.
best for her family. It just doesn't always come off in the best way. But hey, characters need to have flaws, and that's one of the ones that Portia has. If we had a
Yes.
bunch of perfect people out there, everybody would be chasing Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Whatever. Hey, what did you think of that? Did you find I'm curious what you thought from a critical artistic point of view. Finn and Chase having that conversation about asking Gregory to move in with Finn. Chase
Mhm.
saying, "Oh, well, hey, let's not take away his independence and let him decide one day."
Mhm.
And then not 5 minutes later, he's sitting with the boy saying, "I think I should move in with Finn."
Yeah. Well, that was big. I thought for the boys that would have been, if I'd have had, put myself in their spot, I would be like, whew, we don't have,
I just found the pacing of that to be interesting,
Yeah.
because they're like, oh, I should ask him, oh, I shouldn't, and then at the end of the episode, he's like, maybe I should, and I was trying to analyze it from like an artistic POV to in a sense, where I'm like, well, is this like showing how similarly Finn and Gregory really like think, how in tune they really are with what the other might need from each other here in the twilight years of Gregory's life.
And for so many years they were mad at each other, right? And
You're
didn't
right,
have anything to do with it. Finn went no contact before it was popular.
Yeah, he ghosted
Oh,
the family.
no contact now.
I can't ever talk to my dad again. I boned his wife. Oh my god. I could be Chase's dad. Oh no. I can never talk to him again. Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that they took Jenny, my sweet Jenny, from all my children.
Yeah.
Put her on General Hospital as a dodo head.
Yes, no, and I don't know what happened to her. Did she get in trouble too? Did she say some sort of nonsense on the internet? Because we haven't seen her, and oh my god,
I don't know.
They don't even really talk about her anymore. It's like she's been erased from the Chase family.
Yeah, I don't say nothing about her.
Huh? Hey, chat. Anybody know what might have happened? What's her name?
What is her name?
Yeah, from NYPD Blue, right? That was the whole thing. It's like, what's her name from NYPD Blue?
Well, it's certainly not Jackal Templeton,
No, it's not Jack.
or Ginny Gardner.
Or Ginny Gardner, but no. But yeah, did she say something? She angry? She has something? Finn seemed concerned. What he saw doesn't match ALS. I don't know anything about that. I don't think we can trust necessarily the show to be 100% accurate when it comes to the depictions of every single disease as well. So I think that until otherwise told, Gregory has ALS, and they went to, I think, a pretty extensive length to say that this is ALS, undeniably ALS.
They did on that whole going to the Mayo Clinic and all that, so they really sold it back then. But it's
Kim
still
Delaney.
Why couldn't I think of Kim Delaney? It's not.
Well, Chandra says that she did have some off-screen troubles, so maybe she did say something that got her in trouble somewhere.
Oh, okay.
It happens now, you guys. Be careful what you say into microphones. I'm less concerned because I'm not famous. But, if I was famous, I'd probably be more concerned.
Ooh, if I was famous, I'd be in trouble.
And that's why we run a positive podcast, because one day when we're rich and famous, we want people to look back at our early stuff and go, they were always that nice. They're not Ellen. Trina's not Joss. Joss has the money to drop out of school. Yeah, get a soap. Everybody's got enough money. You always have enough money for everything until the story says you don't.
Exactly.
Like Elizabeth is the most rich poor person ever. Like she's the most comfortable I have no money person I think that's ever existed in television.
Yep.
Cameron's school. I know he's got the scholarships and stuff for school, but Cameron's going to school out of state. The other kids have shoes all the time. Baking is not cheap. I know flour might be, but icing and class and decorating, all of that expense could stack.
Oh yeah.
But I guess Aiden sells his baked wares though, so maybe he's buying his own stuff.
Well, he was baking this week, wasn't he? She said that on over. Aiden's been cooking.
Aiden will help you out.
Yes.
If you ever have a problem in Port Charles, with like, oh my God, my kid needs to bring 4 dozen cupcakes to school tomorrow. What do I do? Aiden's already baked them. They are at Elizabeth's house. Just go pick them up.
They probably got a freezer of Aiden's stuff that you could just go over there and pick whatever you want.
Aiden actually is the right character to take over Kelly's at one point. Kelly's Diner and Bakery.
Yes.
I guess Bobby's. Excuse me, Bobby's.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta fix my mouth on that. It's Bobby's now. Let us not forget.
It's been pretty easy for me.
I really haven't referred to it very much, so I think that might have been the first time that I've really had to say anything. Drunk driving again, says Blink. What? Oh, an alcohol-related... Oh, Kim Delaney got in trouble for an alcohol-related car accident. Got it here. Okay, so she pulled a Haley. Pulled a Haley Poulos. Got it. Hopefully it wasn't as bad as what Haley did, though. Just because I don't want anybody to be hurt, not because I want Kim Delaney to necessarily not be a criminal.
No, I want it for anybody.
Aiden is selling his stuff now, says Blink FM. Blink, is this your first time in the chat? I don't recognize your name. If you're the first time, thanks for participating so much.
Yeah.
I need a Bobby's mug. We all need a Bobby's mug. I've got a Kelly's
I
one.
was saying
It's a
that last
collector's
week.
item now.
Because I have a Kelly's one. I want to put them side by side.
Well, Kelly, who is no longer the namesake of the diner in Port Charles, Kelly Publicover. She got a 10th floor mug that was recently delivered. One of the new 10th floor mugs.
Oh, cool.
Yes, yeah. So she got one
That's
of those.
cool.
I'm sure Chandra will share the link to the Printify thing at some point during the the chat. So yeah, Chandra got one. Kelly got one, and she said that it's crystal clear, like the printing is perfect. The mug is wonderful. And she had some milk out of it earlier today. So thank you very much, Kelly, for your support.
Yeah, thank you.
And she also has a Kelly's mug. I have a Kelly's mug. Mom has a Kelly's mug. I think we might have sent a Kelly's mug to one of our winners on the Zoom chat after our last
think we did.
convention
I
thing.
think one of our prizes was in the Zoom. I think it was a Kelly's mug.
And we might have sent the Kelly's mug to Kelly, for all I remember. I really don't remember. Like the person that won like the autographed Maurice Bernard book, I've never heard from them again. So So
well, they got their book.
Hey,
Winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, and they paid their little contribution to the Zoom. I don't know. I would love to do another Zoom, but I don't know how to justify charging people for it. Because I feel like the people who would want to show up are the people that come here for free every Sunday.
I don't know. We got to think about it.
I'd love to, but then also at the same time, I also can't be like, oh, hey, we got Adam Huss to come on the show, buy our Zoom ticket, because then I feel like I would owe him a portion of it, and I don't want to give that money away.
Right.
And we're not Linda Road or whoever it is that runs that Coastal Entertainment. But then again, we're not that because we don't try to be. And you never get what you don't try for, folks. I hope the girls are listening. Nothing changes until something changes.
They've run downstairs now. I think they're bugging your dad.
Oh, Kelly says, I see a pooch behind Mom. If you've been watching, Kelly, there's been pooches, there's been kids. I wouldn't be surprised if Godzilla walked by at some point.
Yeah, that was Rocco. That is actually Matthew's dog.
Yes. Answering Kelly's question there. What's the dog's name? That's Rocco. So yeah, it was the dog that I inherited and then gave to my parents to a degree.
Rocco is like, if you don't like Rocco, there's just something wrong. He's the best dog in the world. Yeah. So even if Matthew wanted him back now, I'd say, oh, so sorry, he's not yours anymore.
I think that he's the happiest at that house. He's got so much space.
And he's very old now too.
Yeah, he's old. He doesn't need to be cooped up in a smaller space with nowhere to stretch. He needs to be able to stay mobile.
Yes, and when he needs to pee, he probably needs to be able to go pee right then, because that has an effect on anything.
Yes. And I just
here for a while.
We just don't need him sitting around too much. We got to keep that blood pumping.
He's doing well. And Scarlett doesn't have a dog, and she really wants one. So when she comes over, all she does is just hug his neck and hug his neck and hug his neck. And Rocco is social dog, and he loves it.
Yes. She'll show up, and he's like, oh, cool. Sweet. I got something to do for the next couple hours. Chandra got, so Chandra and Stephanie got the autographed 10th floor mugs from Zoom.
Oh, yeah. There was one that had half of the folks that we got to meet, and
I think Chandra got the one that Donnell signed. Pretty sure she did.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure she got something that Donnell touched at least. Oh man, he's close to walking again. We're gonna be done with this wheelchair here anytime now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Maybe in time for his first anniversary with Portia. Maybe as soon as next week.
Sure, because that Valentine's Day.
Exactly.
Valentine's Day is their anniversary, isn't it?
Yes, and it's also a time for Maxie to reflect on her relationship with Peter, and the time that Mac punched Peter at the altar. So I think they had a Valentine's Day wedding as well.
So we got to see, speaking of Spinelli, we got to see some Spinelli and Maxie and the Hatchets and all that.
Mother, I loved it so much. So Spinelli innocently denying that he has reignited his feelings for Maxie is
Mhm.
adorable.
Uh-huh.
Cody setting things up for Spinelli to look good.
Uh-huh.
Adorable. Spinelli
Uh-huh.
hitting the target, hugging Maxie, and then him have. Oh, God, Bradford Anderson, you're amazing for this. The joy, the happiness, the yes, I really do love this woman that was
Mhm.
painted on his face was
Yes.
so readily readable.
Yes.
And the exclamation point was just his little like
Mhm.
just the softest of like almost like a yes pump, but also a hug.
Yes.
You know, like
Yes.
like
It was very cool. Very
just
cool. And
it made me feel feels.
another detail that I loved was he was drinking orange soda.
Right.
That's Spinelli's thing.
Yes.
Orange soda.
Orange soda always has been
And
just
I
there
love that he
hacking
was
with
drinking
orange
orange soda.
soda.
We haven't seen that in a long, long time. That's why I thought it was cute and cool.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but orange soda was his jam.
I wonder if it was Props who remembered that, or if it was Bradford who's like, well, if I'm going to be drinking anything, it's going to be orange soda. Can we make that happen?
Mhm.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. So they're really laying some groundwork for Spinelli and Maxie to get back together.
They are, and it's going to be so good. It's going to be
I
so
think
fun.
it's gonna be very, very
Like,
cute.
I didn't even
Very
see
cute.
original Spixie, but I can tell the chemistry that the two of those actors have with one another. And so I
But
personally, yes, I'm very much looking forward to it. And we know, Steve Burton, Bradford Anderson, they are a package duo.
yes,
It's like hiring Kevin Smith to do something. You know that Jason Mewes is going to be right behind him. Like Jay and Silent Bob, right? It's going to be Stone Cold and the Jackal. So with Steve Burton back on set, we know that there's going to be more focus on Spinelli, which is why all of this is
so
happening.
I hope with Jason coming back, there adds some complexity because Maxie and Spinelli getting back together will be joyous and fun and cute to watch, but it will be old hat very quickly if there's not something going on with them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I mean, Maxie always has something going on, so, it's dangerous to be in
So,
love with Maxie.
it was interesting this week too, and I watched Steve and Bradford this week on their when they did a little quick podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And he confirmed that March 4th was his first date back on,
Mm-hmm.
air date.
Mhm.
Confirmed that. But what he did say, what was interesting, and he said he would talk to the new head writers, and he knows kind of what's going to happen
Uh-huh.
for a little bit. He knows what his arc is.
Or at least what their intentions are, right?
Yes,
Okay.
he knows what it is, sort of.
Uh-huh.
Sort of. He said that, so that was good. And he also said, and you guys have made some assumptions. Your audience has made some assumptions, and he said, you're wrong.
So he's not the shooter.
So what does that mean?
That means he's not the shooter. That means they're setting up Jason to be the red herring shooter, but really he's going to be the hero that swoops in at the last moment to save Sonny. Or Dex.
But he can't crash through the ceiling. We've seen that already. He came back to save the day that day too. So
maybe they're gonna confront the sniper, and the sniper's like Jerry Jacks or something, like somebody like, oh my God, Sebastian Roche, oh my goodness gracious, look at him, right? And then as they're like, threatening him and all that, they're threatening him and all that kind of stuff. Then he gets taken out by a second sniper, and they look over, and it's Jason.
Yeah.
And
what do you think? And Matt, what do you think? What's going to happen with Dex? Are they going to string him up and put him on a meat hook again? Golly, something's going to happen.
Yeah, this is going to become a major confrontation. Michael's going to have to save Dex in some way. The offshore bank account, the wire transfer at that time was not the moment for Dex to have accepted that money. But he's been spying on and only informing Michael. But then also he joined the mob under false pretenses. So it's gonna be a problem. I just don't know ultimately how big of a problem it's gonna be because Michael's involvement.
It's a big problem with Dex because of all the things they've done. He's done behind their back, and kind of played each other. He's played people.
Well, I mean, he played things in the beginning, setting up the tape and la 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 la. But playing that he's done has only just been to get into the organization. He hasn't put Sonny in a dangerous spot or Jocelyn in a dangerous spot. And the only person that he's really informed, that we know of at least, the only person that he's been informing has been Michael, which isn't very far off of Sonny's base. So ultimately, I don't know how big of a problem this is going to be in the long run. I know it's going to be a problem in the short term.
No, and the common denominator is neither one of them have been honest to Sonny about their relationship and how Dex came to be in Port Charles in the first place.
But, I mean, Sonny is just constantly surrounded by lies. And this is going to be the second thing that Michael knows about that Sonny didn't tell him.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll also be a factor. I don't think we're going to get that big blow up. You're not my son.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to get that.
Nope.
But it's going to be tense. Dex isn't going to be a part of the Mafia anymore, which might open him up to Wu being attacked. He said in the past that, Jocelyn, I'm not a Boy Scout. Maybe he'll join another organization, start his own. I don't know. I really don't know. I think also who his dad is going to play a factor in things as well. Because if he's a Kate's, ultimately, then maybe he'll join law enforcement. If he's Jason's, maybe he'll fall in line with whatever stories are happening there.
If they make John Cates his dad, they can't play it that John raised him. Right. Because everything Dex has said about his dad has been negative and horrible.
And that's not what we've seen from John Cates since his return. He's very much a man of the law.
If he recognizes him as his father, I don't think he was raised by him.
Right. So maybe it's something that someone that John had been with in his more troubled youth.
Yeah. And then, some stepfather raised him and abused him.
Right. He says that Jerry can take Sonny out. You probably could. I just came up with a random villain very quickly, in my head.
A random villain presumed dead.
Presumed dead. Somebody shocking and surprising that you wouldn't expect. Unless the shocking and surprising is like freaking Felix is up there, Like, wouldn't that be something? He's like, I used to be a ranger. You guys just never asked,
I thought it was cool. Kind of like taking 4 steps back, but I thought it was cool that Cam was there at the funeral, even though it was only one day. It was just cool to see him, cool to see William Lipton, and just have him there for one day. I liked it. And the fact that he's not coming back is fine.
Jagger said that his son was autistic, but he could have multiple children. Just because we ran into Stone Jr. or whatever it is they ultimately called him. Because I guess Jagger had come back on Port Charles.
Yeah, I'm not.
Or night shift or something.
Right? Night shift.
Yeah, and with it, we're walked away with a kid with autism, and I think they named the kid Stone. Yes. Dex wouldn't be Stone. Like, this would be another child that John had at some point in his life and lost track of. Or didn't lose track of and will recognize.
Or Jason could be his dad.
Or it could be an entirely other family now coming into the fold, which I am okay with as well. But then again, the Cates are not greatly connected. I don't know of any Cates lineages that still exist. I don't know of anybody that would be Jagger's kid or Stone's kid. Because I don't think Stone was alive long enough to have children.
Stone is gone.
So it's really just John Jagger.
They had a sister, I think. They had a sister.
Karen, right? Wasn't it Karen? But Karen's also not around, right?
No.
He liked Karen. He loved Karen, is what it was.
That was Scotty's daughter.
Right? She was the one on the pole.
Yes.
But John liked her. Sonny was responsible for her downward spiral.
Yes,
that's why they had that.
Felt like,
that's why they had that rivalry.
Yes, that's why the initial rivalry.
Yeah.
Them girls need to calm down.
Dex could have gone by Dex because Stone would be a clue for Sonny. I don't know. Dex is the youngest sibling. Well, there you go. Youngest sibling. He's the one. I mean, it's been how long ago was Night Shift? Night Shift was on when I was in high school, you guys. That was a long time ago. That's enough time for John Jagger to have a kid, and also Sora's that kid.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah. Jagger's sister is Gina. I don't know. I don't know who Gina is.
I do remember that they had a sister. I don't remember anything about her, but I knew they had a sister. Girls, calm down a little bit, okay? Calm down, ladies.
So yeah, I don't know what the future is for all of that. I don't know. Alcazar. Maybe Alcazar's doing it.
Oh my gosh. Even the dog ran through. Oh, y'all.
Oh my goodness. If you are only listening to the audio version of this podcast, you owe it to yourself to rush over to youtube.com right now. youtube.com/10th floor podcast. Pause it on Spotify, pause it on Alexa, whatever it is you're doing. Come on over to YouTube and check out what's happening behind this entire podcast. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Well, it seems as though the house is getting a little restless. So we need to cover our final topic, which is how much I love Tracy Quartermain and her week this week. She's our cover girl. She does not know what to do with herself. Her heart is growing 3 sizes too large, like the Grinch.
That's who I thought of. I said, she's the Grinch on the top.
Yes, Kelly, it was my dad. I really enjoy Tracy, and I really enjoy that this is something that that she really hasn't done in as a character. You know, this is something new for Jane.
We have seen glimpses of Tracy being golden and being good.
Yeah,
we've seen glimpses of that.
Yeah,
but we haven't seen this kind of longevity.
Right, where she's like, I'm being gracious in my feuds. I'm compromising with the Bensonhursts. She didn't even call them like Lois and Olivia. She called them the Bensonhursts.
She didn't call the Cirillos the Bensonhursts.
The Bensonhursts, like the slums, you know. Oh my goodness gracious! You missed Dad, Chandra. You did. You did. You have to back it up. So anyway, I just absolutely adore Tracy this week. It also feeds into Gregory. If you listen, if you're out there in the social media world finding reasons to not like what they're doing with Gregory because you don't like Finn, you are missing out big time. Gregory Harrison is eating this.
Yes.
Hugely. This man is going to walk away with recurring guest supporting actor at the Emmys if he continues to do this. Even though,
they had him go to the Mayo Clinic, I want his diagnosis to be wrong now because I like him so much.
So we're experiencing the same thing we did with Mike Corbin. They brought in such a great, talented, empathetic actor that can really hook the audience into the journey that they have in their twilight of life that you don't want them to pass away. You want the character to continue on because you're enjoying them so much.
You want a miracle.
You want a miracle to happen, but also at the same time, they've given them these real life incurable things that they can't miracle their way out of. So you do have to go on the journey.
The only way that the thing that makes this one a little bit different for me, Matt, is what was wrong with Mike? You can't, that disease doesn't really mimic another. You really can't have a long-term misdiagnosis.
No.
For that particular disease that Mike had.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for his symptoms that he has now, you can have different things that would give you those symptoms.
It's true. I feel like it would be a cop-out.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be we like them, so we're not going to continue this story after all, which is a decision. But
I wonder, as an actor, how he feels about it. Come on the show and tell us.
Oh yeah, come on over, Gregory Harrison. He was on State of Mind with Maurice Bernard talking about his life and recovery from poor choices as a youth. I guess he was on Trapper John or something.
Yeah,
was it Trapper John or was that somebody else? I don't remember. Am I thinking of Max Gale?
I watched that podcast. It's not really. It was filmed some time ago.
Yeah.
He was on, I guess, a while back.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that. It's very good.
Yeah. So I mean, a little bit of insight into.
He got in the whole Hollywood, because he's
Hollywood 80s.
He was riding a wave. Okay, he was
Hollywood in the 80s.
Riding a wave,
just like everybody else.
Very popular, very handsome on a hit show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he kind of got, involved in some stuff he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But
He
thank
got
goodness
past it.
he's able to you know, change his path. I don't know.
No, it's fine. We're having a performance is what we're doing. Yeah,
It's just,
Trapper John, thank you very much, Kelly. So yeah. So he got over it though, and now he's living a healthy life once again, much through the strength and power of his relationships with his wife and such. But he always came off to me, at least in that interview, he came off to me as somebody who understood that an actor's job is always temporary. Even if you play a character for 15 years, it's going to come to an end at some point. And so I think that's just might be part of the life. And when you're somebody who has done as much as he has, I think coming to the end of something probably isn't as devastating to somebody who doesn't have as much experience. So there's that. Well, folks, I think it's about time to get on the elevator because we got
these little girls are distracting me so much.
we got what we have is we got little girls and pushing all of the buttons in the elevator is what's happening. So that's it. We're gonna be done. We're gonna get in the elevator. We're gonna go back down to the first floor and thank everybody for joining us this week. What's up, Ma?
Well, just my follow up on that.
Yeah.
Those two actors, Jane Elliott
Yes.
and
Gregory Harrison.
Gregory Harrison, they are just so phenomenal.
They shine off of each other.
Yes, they're just
when it comes down to it, I know he kissed Alexis, but I know Tracy just lost Luke, but I think that's where it's at.
I think so too.
If they even want to walk down any long term, they want to walk down any piers and not just leave it as it is, where there's just a lot of love.
But I like Tracy being a little more generous and not so judgmental. I like it. I like the fact that she's
like I
able to
said,
bend a little bit.
it's
But
something
I
else for Jane to
certainly
play.
don't want her. I want her to still be Tracy.
She's never going to lose her snark.
She got to be on the. Yeah, she can't exactly.
She's never going to lose her snark. She'll find some sort of happy medium, or unfortunately, when the time comes that Gregory does pass, maybe his influence will also go at the same time as she deals with her grief over that. I don't know. We'll see. I think that there's a lot of cool opportunity, especially with new writers coming in. Here's the thing: new writers come in, and they always come with 3 years of fun ideas. That's what happens every time new writers come in. You're gonna get 3 years of fresh, new, fun, well thought out, well paced ideas at the minimum. So hopefully that stands true for soaps as well. With these new writers, we're gonna get 3 years of excitement before they recycle stuff that they'd already done.
Or they start,
Losing a little bit of that momentum. Anyway, that's it. Get on the elevator. We're going back down to the first floor. We're going to go into the parking garage, into our cars. I don't know how to talk anymore. It was that hour I had to be by myself.
Well, Matt, you carried it. You did great. You
Thanks,
did great.
Ma.
I think that I think that singular podcasting to me is hard.
Oh, it's super hard. I don't know what I don't know what to bounce off of. And then I'm like reading and not talking. And it's weird. Anyway, turn your radios to previous episodes of the 10th Floor, which you can find on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. If you can't find it on your favorite podcasting platform, you can reach out to us on Twitter at 10th Floor GH. I guess it's called X now, at 10th Floor GH. While you're there, you can follow us on that account. Join the Soba conversation. Eventually, you'll join Threads. You can also do Instagram, Facebook as well. Join us there. We'll have a good time.
Oh, that's stuff.
Like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Super chats are open, so if you feel like you want to chip a couple of quarters our way, we'll take them. Squirrel them away. We'll never see them again. Go whatever team you support. Go spend some time with your families.
I live in 49 countries, so.
I've been Matt.
I've been Kat.
And we'll catch you next time right here on the 10th floor. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.